What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Sunday Lead Screamers podcast. I'm your host of today's show, Steve McCutcheon, along with my one co-host, Vino Anazelli. How we doing, boy?
What's going on, Steve? No Michael today. We dropped his ass.
We are one short on today's show. For anyone that's listened to us before, we're usually a group of three. Our one friend was too good to come on with us tonight and hang out because he's hanging out in, I think, Houston or Austin, Texas.
Austin, I think it is, yeah.
Austin, yeah, on a bachelor party weekend. So congrats, Mike. Have fun.
We'll tweet out his location in case you want to go kick his ass.
Yeah, we won't mind. But before we start the show, take a second for us real quick. Like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Sunday Lead Screamers. And then also follow us on Twitter for any updates on world football, Premier League, and United States men's national team at SLScreamers_pod. But let's get the show on the road. Today we had the Champions League group stage draw, and I'm thoroughly excited. It's a great time to be alive.
This is my favorite time of year. Season's back underway everywhere, and Champions League comes out, and you know what kind of mouth-watering ties you're going to get, like Pep Guardiola meeting Messi in the first round. It's good to be back.
Absolutely, man. We had the United States men's national team roster drop today too for the World Cup qualifiers, but we'll actually have a show on that next week, and hopefully maybe even someone guest visiting us.
We'll see. What's your first thoughts, Steve, on the groups?
Dude, I feel like I say this every year, but I thought it was just stacked everywhere.
Yeah.
Did it not, like, right? I feel like there's so many name brand teams in there that I don't know. It just seems like every team's loaded for whatever reason.
The way I feel about the groups is the same way I felt about the Premier League this year, where the better teams, everyone just elevated. I mean, you can't say literally everybody because Barcelona lost Messi, obviously, and things of that nature, but every group this time around kind of panned out where you look at it and you're thinking, okay, I probably know this team is going to go through, but that second spot's up for grabs in almost every single group. There's not many. There's not many things where you can be like, all right, they're done. Obviously, poor Club Brugge. If anyone didn't see, Group A is Manchester City, PSG, Leipzig, and then Club Brugge. So I think that one you're able to say maybe 3 of the 4 have a chance realistically, but
you never know, man. You really don't in this competition. It's the strangest thing sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only group I think I would imagine is pretty much like a definite 2 going through is Inter and Real. Moldova team that we'll go over later.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit there, but I heard what you said. And my only problem with that is Group D is the same group as last year with Inter Milan, Real Madrid, and Shakhtar Donetsk. The only thing missing is Mönchengladbach last year. So they replaced them with first-time Champions League. I'm gonna butcher this. Sheriff Tiraspol, I think it is. This is their first time in the Champions League. And Steve, you said this is the first team from what country?
Moldova.
Maldives. Yeah.
No, Moldova.
Moldova.
Different.
Sorry.
Yeah, a little different there, bud.
Yeah, not Maldives. I'm ready to go on vacation.
I don't blame you.
I think outside of that, maybe just Group A with Bayern Munich and Barcelona. Otherwise, pretty damn wide open this year.
Yeah, it really is, man. Honestly, you're down to just go like through the groups A through H and just kind of you were taking everything on it. All right, so you already gave away the hint already, but we got in Group A, Man City, PSG, Red Bull Lisbon, and Club Brugge. You got a little bit of oil money in there. We got an American head coach.
Got a lot of oil money in there.
A lot of oil money up in there. Probably the only 2 teams that really had a chance at Lionel Messi from leaving Barcelona, and they just happened to get put together. So that should be interesting to watch out. Yeah, I feel bad for the group winner, whoever has to beat the second place team out of this group. That kind of sucks for them.
Yeah,
unfortunate.
I mean, you're talking about City and PSG have to be top 3. That's 2 of the top 3 contenders to win the tournament this year, in my opinion.
I think they're actually 1 and 2. If you look at the sports books, they're
is it 1 and 2 for sports books?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to see them making a very deep run in this tournament and to have them in the same group.
Nuts.
Although I will say, I think Leipzig didn't give them good games. That's a well-drilled team even before Marsh showed up, and he's done well with them so far too.
Yeah, and Man City, we know them have had some classic group or knockout stage blunders. We'll call them. I don't know, just absolutely just shithousery happens to them sometimes. So maybe it happens in the group stage this time. We'll see.
I hope so. My only problem with My only problem for Leipzig right now is that you know how third place teams drop down to the Europa League and what's 6 of the top 8 do so.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough for them to accrue points knowing they have to play City and PSG a total of 4 times. Do you think that's going to, I mean, you have to assume they're probably going to take points off of Bruges, but if they drop even a single point against Bruges and the most they can get is 4, assuming they lose the other games against the 2 favorites, that's going to be tough for them to get in the Europa League at that point.
Yeah, no doubt. Actually, there's a really funny video. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter or not, Instagram, wherever it was posted. Tyler Adams, when he heard the groups, he saw that. He's goes,
like,
"Oh no!"
Dude, if I saw PSG and City get pulled in my group, I feel the same way.
Especially for him, like he's playing defensive mid. He's literally just gonna have Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. If Mbappe will say, just running at him right there. Then on the Man City side, God knows who the hell is gonna be running at him there. So he's gonna have his work cut out for him in those group stage matches.
Poor guy. Just put up a beach chair and relax because they're gonna take off past him regardless.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. We actually, speaking of an American like that, we do potentially have a record. We set the record last year for most ever. That was 10 in the group stages. This year, depending on who moves clubs and stuff along those lines, we might have 12. It's looking like that right now. So it's pretty cool. We just, setting ourselves another record right there.
Yeah, I think this is now 3 years in a row where the record for Champions League not appearances, but for players represented by the clubs in the Champions League has increased year over year.
I'll take it. Hey, man, that United States men's national team depth's getting bigger and bigger. So
hey, whatever we can do.
Regular. But who do you? I mean, I can't see anyone other than Man City's great, but PSG, you gotta put them in first place, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of that's going to depend on what happens with Mbappe's future. Working under the assumption where we stand now, where he's still in the PSG team, in my opinion, he should stay for this year. I put PSG at top of the group with City a close second.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they're gonna beat each other up a little bit, although I don't know.
I don't see any draws between them, and that's my concern with I don't think they're gonna draw a single game between the two of these guys. I mean, they've met a couple times over the past couple of years, and it's always been just a very fast-paced, open game the way both teams like to play. Pochettino knows City, and Pep knows Pochettino, so it's gonna be an interesting battle.
That is true. I mean, granted, we're recording this on a Thursday right now after the group stage came out. So you're talking Mbappe might not be there. Ronaldo might be going to Man City. A lot of things could change in a matter of time. So
wouldn't that be a shift in power right there?
Oh my God, dude. Everyone from and I get it. We're Chelsea fans, and we saw Eden Hazard go to
Real.
Well, no, so we saw that. I was okay with that. He was out of the league, but if he came back and went to Tottenham, does that that sours you a little bit?
Yeah, that would have hurt.
Hazard's a club legend for us. I'm not saying Ronaldo isn't for Man U, but he definitely had a way better time at Real Madrid, and he would never go play for Barcelona. So if he's willing to do the Man City thing, I don't think it's that necessarily that big of a deal for them. But I mean, I'm also not a Man U fan. I can't speak for him.
Without delving too far out of Champions League, do you think he's going to do it? Because I think he's going to do it. I think his ego is going to get in the way with Messi being on a super team like PSG, and he needs to make the same type of move.
It would be awesome to watch him in the group stage, though. I'm not going to lie. I'd love to see that. But there's 2 to 4 clubs at most, and they're all Premier League teams that really could use him, and they have the money to buy him and then hold his wages through obviously the COVID times and everything like that. So he wants out of Juve. There's a buyer right there. You got to go.
We'll see.
We shall see. But yeah, I'm going to take PSG first as of right now. Man City second. Lesbing. I think they're going to put up a pretty good fight. I don't think this group is going to be done until at least the 5th or 6th game week.
Agreed.
At the very earliest. I wouldn't be shocked if it goes to the last day. I don't think they're going to roll over by any means. Jesse Marsch isn't that type of coach and typically gets the best out of his squad most weeks. So and then
totally
Bruges, sorry, you just got a really bad draw. But
poor guys.
Yeah, unfortunate.
See you next year.
Yeah. On the group B, I don't think it's even debatable, honestly. I'm not going to say that. This is definitely a group of death.
Yeah. You got to say group of death because all the teams have a relatively decent chance of progressing.
Yeah, absolutely. You got Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, Porto, and AC Milan. AC Milan's back there for the first time, I think, since 2014 or 15. It's one of those years. So they've been gone for a little while, but they're back. They're obviously a household name, and they've brought in a bunch of players and made themselves definitely a stronger squad.
Yeah.
Porto made round of 8 last year, right? They were quarterfinals against Chelsea.
Correct.
Because it was Atletico first, and then they played Porto. So they're there. Liverpool's won the competition and the Premier League recently. Atletico just won La Liga. It really don't get tougher than any of that, man.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I have to give the edge, obviously, to Atletico and Liverpool, just because Liverpool's back and looking in business. I think a big test is going to be this weekend at Chelsea. So we'll see how they're able to play against a bigger club. Maybe that'll give us a little more insight moving forward. But I mean, Diego Simeone, he knows what he's doing. He's led Atletico Madrid deep into this competition just year after year after year. So you can never count them out. Personally, I think Atletico Madrid is the strongest team in this group. They beat Liverpool. Was it last year or the year before that as well? AC Milan, while they have improved over the years, the last couple of years, and since they've been in the tournament, they're the last Italian team to actually win it all the way back in 2010.
Oh, wow.
I just don't think they're gonna have the legs for it. I don't think they're gonna be able to play the entire season with a not so deep squad and still have the quality without injuries to make it to the final or anything like that. And regardless of the final, even getting to the group, I don't see them being able to handle Liverpool's pressure and speed. And they, with teams that have been playing together, coached the way that Klopp and Simeone do for 5-6 years. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. So, I completely understand. I would probably take Liverpool first in this group. I like what they do offensively and defensively. Atletico scares me a little bit in a group stage format in a knockout round where Simeone is pretty much a mastermind, especially defensively, and he can play a different way than you would in a group stage. Their scoring scares me just a tad bit. Obviously, Suarez just came off a 6 season and stuff, but if you obviously over a 6-game span, I would imagine they squeak it out over Porto, but I wouldn't count Porto out without any means. They got to the round of 8 last year, so I'd probably put Liverpool first, Atletico second, Porto a close, very close third. I think they could possibly squeak it, and then Milan fourth.
I agree. Even as good as Milan was in the league last year, they were atrocious last year in European competition.
Gotcha. On the Group C, relative, we have Borussia Dortmund, Ajax, Besiktas, and Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah. Another one completely open. Initial thoughts, I'm taking Ajax and Dortmund in this round, with Sporting a close 3 and 4 between them and Besiktas. I think the gap between 2 and 3 is going to be a little bit bigger, and it's going to be a battle for 1 and 2, and then a battle for 3 and 4 at the bottom to see who's going to get the Europa League spot for this. They have Erling Braut Haaland. You don't rule out a team with Erling Braut Haaland leading your front line. You know, he's going to get 15 goals in the first round as usual. Again, though, just another group where you look at and you go, these teams are just well matched against one another. It's just going to be a fun group to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. You have Ajax right there. They're probably one of the most offensive teams in that group, without a doubt. Dortmund the same way. You have Haaland up front. Those would probably be my 2 picks right away to possibly win it. You got Sporting, obviously coming off a league win, and then Besiktas. It's tough, man. It's just one of those that's completely wide open.
We're gonna sound like broken records, but that's kind of the way the draw shook out this time around.
They really did, man. It's so tough to predict. It really is. I just can't see. I mean, Dortmund kept Haaland for a reason. He's been scoring nonstop already, assisting nonstop. I can't see them going out of this group, especially in the group stage. And then Ajax every single year just comes with absolute fire. And I still wish they had that Cinderella run to the finals a couple years ago. That still hurts. I
actually have Ajax winning this group with Dortmund following behind them. I think Dortmund's a little inconsistent. You see that in the league, and honestly, every competition they play, they're a little inconsistent. Maybe it's the youth or what have you. But I have Ajax taking this group by very narrow margins.
That I honestly wouldn't be shocked by that. I'll probably take Dortmund first, Ajax second, just based off kind of the difference between the German league and the Netherlands. But yeah, no, you're spot on with that. Dortmund's a very funky team, and honest to God, it's gonna sound funny, but I don't bet them anymore. I've had you can't. I've had so many for sure parlays get busted because of them. Yeah, I can't do it anymore. They're like one of those teams where you look at them, you're like, oh, those are great odds, and you're just like, no, I'm not going down this road again. I can't do it.
Dude, they could beat Real Madrid 4-0 and then the next day lose to Burnley 3-0. It's just that type of team.
100%, dude. 100%. I'm gonna take Dortmund first, Ajax second, Sporting third, and Besiktas fourth. In that order. Sporting, it wouldn't shock me. I don't think this group's gonna be decided very early at all. I think it's gonna go down pretty far, at least till probably the last match week, honestly.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I would just switch my number 1 and 2, but otherwise I agree.
Yeah, need to get some dark horses in here, man.
Yeah.
Group D, as you already mentioned before, is just missing Gladbach right now. Otherwise, they are the same exact group as last year. We got Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Shakhtar, and then Sheriff. It's another tough one. Shakhtar's they're not rolling over either. I know they definitely beat Real Madrid once last year.
Yeah.
And they also scored a crap ton of goals. So
comes back to what we were saying about Mbappe if he moves. That the one player can change the whole dynamic of that team. I still think Real Madrid are good enough to top that group. I think losing Lukaku and changing a manner, losing someone like Antonio Conte, even though Inter did play very well in the opening week or two of the Serie A season, I just think that the Real Madrid team this is their pedigree. They're built for this competition. This is what they are. They don't care about La Liga. They care about Champions League. It's what they're here for.
Dude, I think that 4 out of 5 run that they had.
Yeah, I think they're going to end up topping the group. I think Inter Milan is going to give them a couple of tough games. They might even take a point off of them here and there. But I think generally Real Madrid will have a fairly easy run to the top of the table. And I think it's going to be Inter and Shakhtar vying for that second spot in a pretty close matchup.
I haven't seen too much on Inter recently. Obviously, I know they're on a fire sale. So they lost a lot of people. They lost their coach. They lost their best scorer. Is Martinez still there?
Yeah, he's there for right now. I don't think he's going to end up leaving this year. I mean, it's too close for the deadline. The opening weekend they played, I think they won 2-0. It was, they look pretty good. It's not like they look poor at all, but
that's tough. You lose such large pieces though, and that really starts to take a toll on your team, especially
Lukaku, dude. There's half your attack.
I'm gonna take Real Madrid first. I'm gonna go Shakhtar second. I'm gonna go Inter third and Sheriff fourth. If I really just hope the guy Sheriff scores a goal in
this one. Yeah, I agreed.
Wouldn't want to see them get shut out on their first trip there. Yeah, honestly, like them, if they take a couple points in general, like that's a massive success for them.
If they beat Real,
that'd be great. Actually.
Personally, but
that'd be funny. On the Group E, we got Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Benfica, and Dynamo Kiev.
Yeah, this is probably one of the only groups that I looked at and we're like, it's kind of a no-brainer who's going through here. Bayern's going to top this group without a doubt, and Barcelona is going to be second. And then the way the group shook out in order of draw is exactly how it's going to finish, in my opinion. Kiev's going to get the bottom, Benfica in third, and then Barcelona 2 and Bayern 1.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue on that like one bit at all, actually. Yeah, it's going to be fine just to kind of see the rematch of Bayern and Barcelona after that massive 8-2 ass whooping that they gave them. I think it was 2020. Right? So
yes.
The COVID year.
Yes. The year they won the league. They won the whole thing.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see.
Right after they whooped Chelsea's ass.
Let's chill. We put up a fight up until like the 60th minute of the second leg, and then it went downhill very quickly. Very quickly. How about Bayern? Actually, did you see that cup match that they had the other day? 12-0.
Yeah, it was 12-0 by like the 80th minute too. That was ridiculous. It was
just rude. I mean, granted, it's a 5th-tier side and everything, but that was just
still.
I saw some like people that usually start for them, and I'm like, is that necessary?
Yeah, Leroy Sané scored. I was like, okay.
You could have took the Bayern 2 team, called everybody up just for one match day, and just been like, see you later.
When your team is that deep, you might as well, right?
Yeah, so that was interesting to watch. It's just kind of fun fact for everybody. But I don't see anyone. I think Barcelona, even though they lost Messi, their talent's just too different from Kiev and Benfica to create any problems. I think that's relatively one of the more straightforward groups of the entire thing.
I agree.
So on the Group F, we got Villarreal, Manchester United, Atalanta, and Young Boys.
Yeah, this is kind of reminiscent of Group C, how a couple of these teams can go, and they can go either way. Personally, I think United is going to have just too much quality for the rest of these guys, and I think they're going to finish top of the group. I know Villarreal just won the Europa League, but I'm a big, I'm a big fan of Atalanta. I love the style of football they play. I think it's built specifically to keep teams on their back heels, and teams that aren't defensively as solid as some other teams, such as like almost like a Juventus or Atletico Madrid. It really catches them off guard. And for that reason, I don't think Villarreal is going to be able to overtake them. I have United finishing first with Atalanta in second place, and then Villarreal in third, going to the Europa League.
That one, I'm kind of with you on that one. I think the deciding factors might sound a little weird. Whoever Young Boys steals points off of, will be the team that doesn't make
I can see that.
the knockout rounds. Whoever they could steal a win against, or maybe a 2 draw somewhere along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
I think Man U's too strong. I think. And when I say that, I basically just mean I think Pogba and Fernandez are going to go lights out on a couple of teams. Other than that, I don't feel like whatever. Obviously, they brought in Sancho and Varane, but Atalanta, I just love watching. They're
fantastic.
They
were the other Cinderella story. Was it last year or the year before that? Was it
2 years ago? Right, I think.
Yeah. The same time, because it almost was like an Ajax Atalanta final if they had beat, Real on the way up, or whatever the hell it was,
It's tough to remember just because of how
PSG. That's what it was.
Yeah, you're right. But I'm with you. I think Man U, Atalanta go through. Villarreal comes in third. Young Boys fourth.
Mm-hmm.
We really got to start differing a little bit, man. This isn't even a fun list.
I know it's tough, but I think that United is going to lock up that group by match week 5, but I think 2 and 3 aren't going to be locked up to the last day. With that being said, I don't know what the match schedule looks like who's playing who the first round and what it's going to end up being in the last round. I didn't take a look at that.
Did that even come out yet? I don't even think it did.
I'm not sure. I didn't take a look, to be honest with you, but it doesn't matter. I still think it's going to come down to the wire for these guys.
I think so too. I mean, listen, most times you might have one team that goes through right after like match week 3 or 4, but majority of the time that second spot's always up for grabs very late on.
Yeah.
Group G. This is just, we got Lille, Sevilla, Red Bull Salzburg, and Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
Literally just flip a coin.
Yeah. I think this is actually probably the weakest group of all 8. I think it's the closest thing to Group C with being the unpredictability aspect of it.
Weakest group in terms of just not the typical powerhouse names.
No, I think overall, Lille, while they won League One last year, 3 games this season so far, drew 2, lost 1, 1 point out of all, just on top of the relegation zone at this point. I know it's early, obviously, but they're 17 out of 20.
I mean, you lose your head coach, you sell a few players off. They really don't look at all.
And if Camavinga, Camavinga's what is it called? But my pick to top this group, Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg has had a resurgence over the last year and a half. They were almost being relegated 2.5 years ago, almost being relegated. Following year, Champions League placement. And now they're right back to it this year, where they're in the top couple spots in the Bundesliga. I like the way they look. They got a good back line, and actually, our American friend John Brooks plays for them.
Hell yeah, baby!
I wish he was my friend at least. Anyway, I think they're the dark horse of this tournament. I think that's the team that if you come up against after the group stages, I think you're going to be surprised at what you see with them. So I actually have them topping the group, followed by Sevilla, followed by Salzburg, and then Lille.
Yeah, I don't want to shit on Lille, but the way they've looked, just like you said, I don't. If they continue this run of form, there's no shot they have any chance in this group, without a doubt. This is by far, you might say, the weakest group, but definitely the most competitive. Not even a question.
And they have turned around quick, because it's the first round of matches are like a couple weeks from now. And just back to Wolfsburg real quick, they're actually top of the Bundesliga right now.
Are they?
Yeah, they're top. They're the only team with 2 wins from 2 games so far.
What'd Bayern do? They drew.
They drew their opening match.
Huh.
Yeah.
Would you look at that? Wolfsburg's going on to win the title.
They're doing it.
I'm kind of with you on this one. I actually was going to put Wolf. I don't even know who to put first. Realistically, I think
it's a tough one.
I think Salzburg and Wolfsburg both go through.
Interesting. I like it. I take
Sevilla in 3rd place and Lille in 4th.
Don't forget, Jesse March just came from Salzburg. Do you think it's going to impact them by losing their head coach?
No. Have you seen the way they've been playing in the qualifiers?
I haven't watched them in the qualifiers yet.
They're actually looking pretty good. And Brendan Aronson, another American, we're going to shout that out, obviously.
Yeah.
He's been unreal. He actually had 2 in their last qualifying round to get into the group stage. He had 2 goals, 1 in each leg. He's looking great. at like pretty much playing that cam role behind.
Mhm.
Typically, they put up 2 strikers up front. So I don't know who goes first or second, but I think both of them go through. Sevilla comes in close third place, and then Lille in last. Obviously, Sevilla could easily go through, but I got to throw a dark horse in there, so I'm gonna go
I
Salzburg.
like it.
Got to switch up just a tiny bit here.
I like it.
The last group, Group H, we have Chelsea, the returning European champions, woot woot,
Mm-hmm.
Juventus, Zenit, and Malmo. Hard. Again, it's kind of, this reminds me a little bit of the Bayern and Barcelona group. It's hard to see Chelsea and Juventus not going through.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Zenit can definitely cause some problems. Malmo, I don't think as much, but Zenit's been in there pretty much majority of the years in the past couple Champions League editions. So,
yep.
Really, I think it's more about a Chelsea Juventus, who comes in first, who comes in second. It'd be kind of cool. I hope Weston does stay Juventus, and then you have Chelsea with Pulisic, them playing each other. That'd be pretty awesome. Hopefully, Weston doesn't come in and break Pulisic's leg on a nice hard tackle.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm in agreement with you. It's going to kind of end up the way Group E did with Bayern and Barcelona, where the way the draws and the pots came out was, I think, is how it's going to finish. One thing that's going to be interesting for this group is this is a lot of travel. Of all the groups and where they're situated, this might be one of the biggest week in, week out travel groups. England, Italy, Russia, and Sweden are like 4 different points in the map. Like it's going to be a lot of movement for these guys.
You got a northwest, a southwest, right?
Yeah, well, Taylor the map. I mean, Moscow. I mean, you know how far St. Petersburg is. That's on the other side of the continent, basically. And Sweden and Italy are as far north and as far south as you go, basically, for this. It's gonna be fun to watch. I still think Chelsea is going to be too deep for Juventus, especially if Ronaldo leaves. Thomas Tuchel against Allegri, though, is going to be a fun tactical battle.
That's going to be a great matchup to watch, manager-wise. Yeah. Absolutely. It's I actually just got an update on my phone too. Real Madrid are closing in on Mbappe, so that'll be interesting to watch.
I saw that. PSG was going to accept 200 mil. Was it?
I didn't see the number. It didn't pop up. I didn't pull down the banner ad, but yeah,
because originally it was like 160 euro, and I think it's 200 euro now. They were offering, and PSG's like, well, he's going to leave for free if we don't do this. So
my whole point is always, if you're Real, like, why pay the money?
They're worried that he's going to end up changing his mind or get his head turned by somebody else, because don't forget there was interest from Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp.
Bro, no shot. He's been wanting to go to Real for like 4 years.
I agree.
That is a waste of money.
Yeah, I said the same thing. Wait 1 more year, get him for nothing, and
I don't see him. I don't see him making a different decision unless they crashed out of Champions League in the group stage, and then on top of that came in like 6th place.
You wonder why Real Madrid's in financial trouble, right? They're paying $200 million for a guy they can get for free next year.
Yeah, I mean, didn't they do like massive upgrades to the stadium too? I think that's where the majority of the debt's coming from.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's as much. Like Barcelona's debt's player wages, like they're way over on those. I don't think Real's is
116%. They said, right?
Yeah, something nuts.
Yeah,
but I'm with you. I think Chelsea comes in first, Juventus second. Again, it looks like basically the draw of the pots of the teams. Zenit third, Malmo in fourth.
Agreed.
But really not. There's really not too many dark horses in this besides the groups, because there's no team I see upsetting the powerhouses in those 2 groups. I thought pots 1 and 2 were extremely strong.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't see another group outside of there typically coming in, unless it's in like a group C where you have Ajax in the pot 3, Salzburg and Wolfsburg in pot 3 and 4. Atalanta pot 3 can be going through. So teams along those lines maybe, but
I don't think there's any dark horses that could win the competition, but I think there are dark horses that can cause problems.
Yeah, the top teams got way too strong.
Yeah,
in my opinion, like Man City, although obviously missing a striker right now to figure out the thing with Ronaldo, but
yeah, I think Ajax or Dortmund could cause a lot of problems for a lot of people. I can see them going someone. Yeah, I think the same thing about Atalanta and Wolfsburg. And those are my 4 that I'm like, they could go through this. It's going to be tough for them all to go through. Don't get me wrong, because of the groups that they're in. But if they do, that they're not teams you're just going to want to roll over. Are they teams you're going to want to see if you're one of the big boys? Of course.
Absolutely, yeah.
But you can't take them lightly.
Draw at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So,
tough, man. I don't know if I.
so who do you have winning the whole thing?
How do you not say PSG, dude?
I know. I know. I'll tell you what. I'm not just to anyone listening, all one person right now. I'm not just saying this because I'm a Chelsea supporter. I think Chelsea's going to repeat.
I think they make a very deep run.
Yeah.
They legit. We have 2 full squads
Yep.
that could be playing Champions League football.
City
right
without
now.
a striker and Mbappe ends up moving on. Chelsea's just as strong with them as Lukaku, with Lukaku in that lineup now, and with the depth. Plus, we have N'Golo Kante. So I mean, like,
that's just you're almost guaranteed to win right there.
yeah, you don't even need to put a team out on the field. That guy does the work of 11.
I do love him though, dude, and he does it with a smile every time.
Do you think it's possible that PSG? Well, let me rephrase this. If PSG don't win the Champions League this year, does Pochettino keep his job?
From what I understand, I'm not going to say I pay attention to League One dramatically, but I do pay attention to them and the Pochettino stuff. Him and the board aren't really great friends.
Yeah.
You just picked up Messi. Granted, Mbappe looks like, from what we're reading right now, actually currently, he's going to be leaving. But still, you have Messi, Neymar. If you don't make it to the finals at the very least.
But it's a loss, right? At that point.
I mean, it's also going to depend on the league, but Lille don't look like they're repeating by any means. And I don't see Monaco or somebody else overtaking there. So, actually, fun fact, according to the coefficients that the Champions League have run up, Messi does not play in the top 5 league anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Portugal overtook
Farmers
France.
League.
Yeah, Farmers League just lost.
He's gonna have like 60 goals. It's gonna be ridiculous.
He might, dude. He actually might.
Yeah.
I think when Neymar was there, though, that's when he typically scored all his club records, right?
Well, I mean, his real records were like in 2011 and 2012 before the big boy showed up when he was breaking. He had the calendar year where he scored like 90 something.
90 something.
Yeah, something like that. I think it was 91. But my only problem with picking PSG and Man City is that neither team has a striker. Icardi's hurt, and even when he's in that lineup, he's not that bullish guy. Now you have, even when your most physical attacker on that team in the front, whatever, is Mbappe, you don't have enough size at all. And City has the same exact problem. Messi's not going to be bullying people. Neymar's going to be bullying people. Are they going to dribble through most teams? Yeah, probably. When they come up against Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, who has done it to both teams before in the past, I think they're going to run into a lot of problems. I was surprised when PSG gave up Cavani. In all seriousness, I thought at the very minimum he's going to be a good target man and get the goals you need. And that's my problem with them, and that's why I'm not picking those two to win.
It's fair. That's very fair. I mean, yeah, they don't have a number 9. We're seeing it with Man City. The only reason we didn't pick Man City to win the league right now is because they don't have a striker. They don't have the Harry Kane. They don't have the Ronaldo.
Well, I picked him,
right
but
now.
That was a mistake.
Well, you're an idiot, then. What can I tell you?
I thought they were going to get Kane.
You're wrong. It's I could very much see your justification of that without a doubt. It's so huge. We look at it. I mean, I hate
what Chelsea did to City last year 3 times in what, a month and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I hate bringing them up constantly just because obviously we're fans of them. But like, look at the difference between when we had Werner and then just one game with Lukaku, and how massive having that guy up front is like that.
It changed the whole complexity of your offense. You can roll balls into the channel behind them. You can play it to his feet. You don't have to play that intricate football to get out of the zone. You could hit a break when you need to because you're going to have the pace to back it up. Plus the physicality that you look at this guy in the face and you're just like, he's going to fucking kill me. He's gigantic.
He is a scary guy. That's Pablo Mari.
Yeah. All right. So follow up to that then. Do you see one of these teams dropping down to the Europa League and winning? And who do you think that would be?
Ooh, that's a good question, actually. That's a very good question. I mean, Villarreal just did it. Easily could do it again.
I think it's going to be Leipzig.
Benfica typically goes pretty far. Leipzig, ooh, that'd be a great choice. Or even Porto. Damn, there's so many teams that could drop down. That's a tough one.
I would go personally with Leipzig. I think it's pretty much locked up. They're going to finish 3. Porto and AC Milan are. It depends on who goes through, but one of them would be the pick, of course.
I would take. Actually, here I'll put it this way: I have Inter going out because I have Shakhtar over them. So
I
I'll
didn't think
throw Inter
Inter.
in there.
Not a bad one.
That's tough though, man. There
Yeah.
really is no easy solution at all.
I'm going to go Red Bulls. The Red Bulls.
The 16 of them that they have lined up all across the globe.
Yeah.
I love when Mike brought that up last week. That was great.
He's sitting in a bar right now.
Yeah, jealous. Fuck you, Mike. Toss as many digs in there as possible as we can.
Yep. Damn straight.
But yeah, what else do we really want to cover? I mean, we have 12 Americans in the group. If you want to read them off real quick and go through the guys, and
go ahead.
The majority of them get a pretty good amount of time. You got Christian Pulisic, obviously, scored in the semifinals last year, played in the finals. Gio Reyna pretty much starts week in, week out for Dortmund, plays a large role. Serginho Dest, Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams, John Brooks, they're all starters on their respective team. McKennie, he's fighting for time. Actually, I don't want to say he's guaranteed, but
yeah, we'll see if he goes to Tottenham too, because apparently they opened contract negotiations.
From what I saw, actually, even more recently, just read a couple hours ago, they only want a loan deal. But again, it's just
interesting.
I'm seeing it out there, so don't have to be right. Brendan Aronson, starter. Tim Weah probably starts 50 to 75% of the games over there.
Yeah.
Stefan, obviously behind Ederson. Jordan Pifo for young boys. He's typically a starter for them. He's actually been scoring a decent amount of goals as well. Chris Richards on Bayern, obviously trying to get a move away right now. From there alone or even a permanent move with a buyback clause. So don't know if he'll be staying there. And then Owen, I always butcher this guy's name, with Asawi. He just moved from Wolves over to Bruges. So he'll be starting as well. So you're looking at probably like 9 to 10 guys that typically will be making into the first team.
Yeah.
Getting Champions League time right now.
It's a good time to be an American in Europe.
Yeah, man, their depth is getting insane right now.
Yeah.
Like looking at
the more guys we get over there at that pedigree level, the better. It's great to see all these young kids playing in the MLS or wherever they may be applying their trade. But
there's a reason they go overseas.
Yeah, until you get to Europe, you're not going to hit the levels of some of these other nations until you're playing in these leagues. That's why South Americans come there. That's why North Americans go there. African nations, like you got to be playing in Europe. And every year we see that number go up is just great for us. Great for the fans, great for the country.
Yeah, no, dude, when we got the roster released today, it was the most excited I've been probably since like we got knocked out of the World Cup.
I meant to ask you, actually, did you expect it to be that strong? Did you expect that many big name players, like all of the guys, to come through?
What do you mean? Just that?
Because like Dest is on there, McKennie's on there, Pulisic's on there. Like everyone that if you had to go to the World Cup right now, that's the lineup I would bring, basically. Did you expect everyone to be on there?
I mean, barring a few injuries that we do have out there, like Musa's not in there. I mean, it's kind of funny, but Zardes played his ass off in that Gold Cup. So he's not in there right now. Chris Richards mitched out. My only 2 snubs realistically were Julian Green, because he's back in the Bundesliga. He's playing pretty well. I thought he should have went over Roldan. Everyone's bitching about Tim Ream being in there. Whatever, he's old, need the experience, especially in these World Cup qualifiers. CONCACAF's a different animal from what some of these guys have seen. So I think having him there for experience is really good. Walker Zimmerman, I thought, him and Richards could have been swapped out potentially, but from what it looked like, at least, and how I analyzed it, was Berhalter pretty much, if you had transfer stuff that going on, Hoppe, Richards, you didn't get called up. If you had somewhat of a knock and you did questionable to be healthy, you didn't get called up. And although Zimmerman did, which is ironic, but
yeah.
So if you had, or you weren't getting enough club time, you really didn't get called up.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of assumed from the 26 that I saw on that list. If a couple of guys that stand out, Gold Cups, Sands, Robinson, Turner, they're all there. I think respectively so too. I think they deserve it. I'm curious what kind of formations we're going to be playing, because we only had Yedlin, Desk, and Robinson, to my knowledge, it looks like, for fullbacks. So I'm curious. I think we're probably going to be using more wingbacks and going a 3 center back the entire time.
Kind of a 3-4-3, because with Pulisic and Reyna and Robinson and all these guys, I think you have to play a front three with the talent that we have in our forward
kind of
line
sucks.
now.
I want to see Reina drop into
Yeah.
that cam role so bad for
It's
us.
also
already.
funny though too, because historically speaking, like United States in the past, like World Cups and what have you, we've been lacking in the front and we've been stronger in defense. You know, especially when you had Tim Howard back there. Now I think it's the exact opposite. We're strongest going forward than in comparison to our defense.
Yeah, we're a much better pressing team than what we used to be.
Yes, people like Robinson and Brooks has definitely come into his own over the last couple of years, and it's definitely improved. But it's just funny to see the metamorphosis that this team has had over the last decade of where they are now.
Not even decade, 3 years.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, since Klinsmann left,
complete shift. It's been nuts. Like we kicked out the majority of anyone over 28 to 30,
which was needed though.
Well, yeah, 100%. They didn't.
Yeah,
they were not up to the quality in the par that we're looking for at this point. And we just took like every young kid, go to Europe. We'll see you in 3 years, and we'll figure it out then. And that's what they pretty much did. And it's working, succeeding.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. I mean, we have Canada, Honduras, and El Salvador, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Canada's at home.
Anything less than 7 points, I think, is a failure. So
I don't even think we should even get 7. I think those are all 3 are winnable games.
Davies isn't going to play for Canada. Your best player's out the door at that point.
What's he hurt?
Wasn't he injured? He was. Well, he was injured during the Nations League.
Possibly, yeah.
Whatever.
All I know is I saw a picture on him of Twitter recently, and he looked absolutely yoked. I don't know what
Bayern Munich does that to people, bro.
I don't know what they feed their players up there. I have no idea. But guys go there looking like twigs, and they come out and you see a photo, and you're like, "My good lord, what steroids are you taking?"
Yeah, remember it was a Nicholas Sule, or was it
him, Lewandowski, like a few of them. Yeah. I was like, God damn, like I kind of want those arms.
Yep. Let's see. Actually, I got it right here. I'll tell you in a second whether Davies is going to be on that lineup because that's a big miss. Yeah, no, he's playing. Damn it.
Hate to see it.
Hate to see it.
That game's in Nashville, though.
Gonna shred us.
That's primo, like USA. Anywhere in that Midwest area.
Yeah.
Like we're good.
Dude, he's like, remember when you were a kid and you played like either like little league, like little league baseball, right? And let's say you played travel ball and you were an outfielder, but the moment you got to little league, you were like, we're just gonna pitch, shortstop, play leadoff. That's Davies for Canada. It's like you play left back for Bayern, but you're just gonna be striker when you play for our national team.
Yeah, you want to just take the number 10 jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
I know exactly. It's funny because they have the Little League World Series on now. Every kid that's really good, the best guy, pitcher and shortstop every single time.
Always.
That's funny.
But that's all I got.
Man. What I don't really have too much more in the Champions League. I mean, we can only go so far. The group stage, you can't really predict too much else because obviously the knockout rounds are drawn completely different than most tournaments. So, but
that's all I got.
Yeah, I think PSG has a chance, Man City a legit chance, Chelsea a legit chance, and then Bayern. Probably my top 4 that I would think I can actually take home the trophy.
Yeah, I agree. You can never count Bayern out.
No, literally every single year they're just in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that pretty much do it for us, man. It's another episode of Sunday League Screamers podcast. Like, comment, and hit the bell to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple, and anywhere else you get your podcast. Follow us on Twitter at the SL Screamers_pod for daily tweets, updates about the show, world football, Premier League, and United States men's national team. I'm your host of today's show, Steve McCutcheon, along with Vito Anazelli, signing off.
Take it easy, guys. See you next week.